What do you want to be when you grow up? Likely the first big life question that many of us are asked as children. A question that seduces us away from the present moment of digging in the dirt and building blocks, and perhaps for the first time, reorients us towards the future, asking us to consider our life in a much larger context. Now, if you listen carefully to the question, you can hear the spell it casts. What do you want to be when you grow up? Inherent in the question is that you have to be something different, suggesting that you are not good enough as you are, that your acceptance and relative worth as a human being is dependent upon what you become. The question whispers, you are not innately worthy. You must become worthy. You may be saying, Sean, hey, it's a harmless question. You're making way too big a deal about this. Perhaps, but I'm not certain. What I am certain about is the amount of people I meet who doubt their worthiness, who feel as if they are not good enough, who may know deep down how beautiful they are and the gifts they want to share with the world, yet are paralyzed by fear. Perhaps you feel this way too. I know I do from time to time. So, I ask you, where does this come from? And yes, it's more complicated than being asked as a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? But the question is informed by an underlying belief in our society that your worthiness is not a given, you must prove it. And so, perhaps the fear and anxiety that is common when deciding what to do with our lives is less about the actual choice and more about whether our choice will be accepted or rejected by others. Because as we've been led to believe, our very worthiness is at stake. What I've witnessed in many people is a persistent low-level anxiety that is masked by trying to appear competent and composed on the outside. But this internal tension is screaming out. It's a plea for acceptance, validation, and permission. Permission to exist. Our whole life we've been groomed to wait for permission. Permission to go to the toilet at school, to speak freely, to wait for the bell to go outside. Do not wait for permission to live your life. You'll be waiting a long time. Sadly, some people will wait their entire lives. Here's the thing. No one can give you something that you already have. Your life, the fact that you were born, is your right to exist. It's your permission. So if you're waiting for an invitation, stop. You don't need one. You're already at the party. You're live. Don't waste time thinking about whether you should have been invited or not, or whether you're cool enough to be at the party, what you're wearing, or whether other people think you should have been invited or not. These questions are not even on the table. The fact that you're at the party, that you're alive, is proof that you're worthy. Your worthiness is not a question. It's already been decided. You have all the permission you need. Can you imagine if Martin Luther King waited for permission to speak his dream? If Michelangelo waited for permission to paint, Shakespeare to write, Rosa Parks to sit in the front of the bus? So, the question is, now that you're here, what are you going to do? How do you want to be of service to the world? What is the highest version of yourself? And what's stopping you? Don't let fear decide your fate. Care less about what people think and care more about loving yourself. Lose the idea that life is too serious to have fun, that people are watching. Let them watch. Let them see the most magnificent expression of you and remind them that they, like you, already have the permission they seek. For when you shine light on those around you. Although burdensome at times, life is not a burden. Life is a precious gift, and gifts, by nature, are meant to be shared. This is your life. Make it spectacular.